Alright, Afterburn here, coming at you with the final piece of this Iron Factory DJD setup. We're going to look at all 5 members individually and how they work as a total unit. Yes, there is a combination. So, the totem of parts, I'm calling it a totem, comes off in a few different pieces. And for prep work, I'm going to put this off to the side. We're going to put these to the side. And we're going to start, and this piece as well, and we're going to start here with Voss and Kaon. Now Voss, considering he is a sniper rifle, doesn't have to do anything. He can stay in this form. Now, we're going to be using this piece but for right now we're going to set it off to the side because we have to prep Kaon. From his robot mode, take these pieces, stick them off to the side, rotate his arms all the way up, but before we do that we want to drop his head in. So you're going from that part of the transformation. Step 3 has you raising his arms up over his head, just like so. And step 4, you rotate him all the way around at the waist. So when it comes to it, he's looking like this. And you turn him upside down. You bend the feet in and the hips up and the heels up. Actually, let me bring this over so I can see what I'm doing. Bring this out to the side, rotate that to the so you rotate it so it's looking like so, and then you bring this down and around to the side and you rotate that out in that fashion. And you basically do the same thing on the other side. So you rotate out, then in, and then around. You flip the foot out like so. So he's kind of looking like this. I believe that's how they want it. Yeah. And then this part is confusing, but nope, no it's not. So they want you to put the head cap over like so. Then basically his hands are going to grab onto 2 tiny little pegs in there, like that. Actually, you don't want that up yet. You want to bring this up, and then this comes down, and then that peg at the back here plugs into his waist. And for lack of a better idea of how this works, that's finished. He turns into an arm cannon and looks really silly. I honestly don't know if it's correct. But that is how that is. We'll set that off to the side. And yes, I'm using the instruction sheets because I don't remember how this works half the time. Because I honestly don't like it. So, next piece we will take Mr. Tarn here. I gotta get him into his robot form, so one moment. Okay, now that I have him in robot form, what we're gonna do is we're gonna swing his arms to his back. I'm gonna fold up his legs all the way. What you're going to want to do is there are little posts on his feet and little ports on his forearms that you just want to peg together. Just like that. So he literally becomes a tiny little cuboid thing. And then you just, to store this, you just put that in between his legs, and that's where that sits. And you want these off to the side for right now, because when we bring in the chest piece, I've got to remember how this works. Okay, yeah. So that just slides in there. His treads, he slides in, and his treads fold up, and they peg very securely into a spot just under the shoulders, so that he is like this. You then take the shoulders and peg them back in like so. You take his cannons from Tarn's mode, fold them in half, and you just slot them in on top. And you set that off to the side, because now we're going to take Alcade, and he's just going to come to pieces. So the backpack comes apart into 4 sections. For the feet, you want them like so, and you're going to take these front pieces here, and you're going to peg them on to the feet like so. He's also going to come apart even further. Going to take him apart there. I'm going to rip off his lower arms. I'm also going to unpeg his shoulders. Okay, next his chest comes out. And you want to rotate this to be just like this. You want to take that hinge and fold it all the way down, because this will then this slots in here. If I can get it to line up. Oh, no, these are rotated wrong. These must remain inside. I know I'm just going crazy with this, but I believe this is correct. So his chest pegs in right there. You know what? I'm going to make sure I have it correct before I go crazy. Oop. It's supposed to be the outside. Okay. Let's fix this. There they go. So that is like that. This piece that had the legs in it, keep off to the side. And then for this, you just want to rip the lower arms off. Not there. You want to rip the lower arms off like so, because you're going to take each foot. And I can't remember how this goes because it's been so friggin' long, but I believe this is this foot. Yeah. It goes on this foot right here, and basically you just want to orient the small hand just like that. Same thing with the other one. Slot it in, rotate it back so it pegs in. If I'm going to do this right, there we go. Yeah, if I can get this right, I'd be happy, but it doesn't want to work with me. But there we go. Okay. And there you have the other foot. Now, for this piece here, you want to lift the head up, rotate the treads back in as if you were going to robot mode, and then you take the piece that took off the middle of the bust section, and that goes in there. And now the legs themselves are a pain in the butt. Now that comes up. I'm going to set these as if they were in robot mode. So you want the legs, you want his legs looking like that. So that you can accurately follow along. So it tells you to rotate the foot down, then around and up. So it's sitting like so. Then you take the upper part of the leg, bend it all the way at the knee, so it's sitting like so. You want to take the shoulders, and as I am doing it on my own, you want to make sure this outer piece comes up, and then this entire hinge here rotates like so. And what you're going to do is you're going to take the leg, which is looking like so, you plug this tab into that slot there, and then make sure this gets locked over like so. And for added stability, you're going to take one of the back plates, stability and functionality as a design element. I'm going to add it to the front. So that's that. And do the same thing with this one again. You lift up that piece, rotate the whole thing back. You plug that in there, and that in there, and you add that piece like so. And then the last thing you want to do is you want to make sure that these connectors are up. And it's literally just a matter of plugging this into a hole that's in there. It's really hard to see, but there's one. And this is always a pain in the butt when it doesn't want to go in right. There we go. Now it's in. And so both of the legs are done. When it comes to the hands of Alcade, these will become the forearms. So what you want to do is you want to fold that panel back. You reach in here and you're grabbing out the other hand. And so there is the big hand here. Going to do the same thing with this one. Just lift that back, rotate it like so. Dig into the cavity to get the hand out. Hand goes in, flips down, and then you just rotate the big fist so that it's oriented with the elbow there. And this is Alcade all set up for the next part. Then you bring in Merak, and he also breaks down into a number of pieces. You want to also make sure to take off these bits. And then you want to make these come out and down, because you gotta get this bit separated, and that is a very tight thing because his head is just wedged in there. Now, trying to get this folded up properly is a pain in the buttocks because I never know how this is supposed to fit. Ah, maybe that's it. Nope. I'll figure it out eventually. Ah, there it goes. So his head just hides in there. That goes off to the side. Now when it comes to these bits, they just hang off to the side. You want to get his heel spurs, flip them all the way down. You're going to come to the back, and like I said in his video, you want these to go all the way up, which is harder than it looks sometimes. These skirt pieces get in the way. Anyways, that's that. And you want to also bring the foot down on this hinge, rotate it around, bring it back up into position, and then that will happen sometimes. These joints are not perfect. Anyways, the toes just rotate up like so. Then to prep the arms, rotate it at the bicep, plug it back in, fold it back on itself, and then what you do is you flip up this flap here, rotate this bit down, and close it back up. So you want that peg there. You're going to do the same thing with the other arm. Rotate it around, fold it up so it's against the back, raise this panel at the front, and flip down the combiner peg. And once all that is done, you actually are completely ready to do the combination. So this is going to be pretty cool. You're going to take the two pegs here, and they are going to peg in to the legs you created, like so. It's going to get tall. To this point, there are 4 little black tabs on here. It's going to be hard to see. There's 2 tabs back here, 2 tabs on this side. There's 4 holes inside of Merak that correspond to it. Hopefully he just slides in this time. Of course not. There are some QC issues, but there we go. He just slides in like so. take the shoulder, the forearm, that goes together, and pegs in right there. Second verse, same as the first, shoulder, forearm, shoulder, forearm, just like that. Now, around the back, it's very, very busy, so you take one of these pieces, missile racks, and you plug it into the back, like there. Take the other one, also plug that one. If I can get it there, into the back. Take this whole piece that you did before, and this long tab will fit right into his butt to fill him out. And by default, at this point, it's complete. But there are some more things we can do. First of all, you take Marek's claws and you can plug those into his back, which I'm going to do just like this. If I can get to it. It's just a tight spot here, people. Okay, there it is. So those are in. He doesn't stand all that well, but that's to be expected. You can then take what we did with Miser here, and you can just actually these. I'm sorry, I did this wrong. These need to be to the back, and then you can just plug him on like that. And if he wasn't armed up to the teeth enough, you can throw Fekta in his sniper form and this is all sorts of murder, death, and terror, and oh my goodness. So all 5 members, in some fashion, have combined together to form what we in the community are now calling Tarnation. Because it's Tarn and his group together. It is cool. It's not comic accurate. Excuse me. But it is cool. Although I prefer to have the individual members together on their own. This is formidable, and especially if you put it next to Iron Factory's War Giant, their Bruticus combiner. This thing just is like, I think this is a head bigger than the whole Bruticus combiner, which is ridiculous. But this is the end of this 5-part video series that I've been putting off for forever and a day. Articulation is the same across the board, but with the added bonus of being able to remove his face plate. I'll give you a close-up on that. Yeah. And the light piping isn't great, right? Yeah. It's not great, but it's there. I don't have any light on it, maybe. It has a little bit. There, a little bit of red light piping. But, you know, I told you people, I told my audience that I'd be getting the rest of this group done. And so I have. And I'm excited that I did, because now I can move on to other items in the collection. This will be the last time this group is together as such. As I've mentioned, I do not care for it. It looks a little silly, and I like the individual members on their own. So until next time, guys, keep watching my videos. Please subscribe if you haven't. And I'll see you on the next run. Stay frosty.